When we think of the great ancient civilizations, we expect to see evidence of incredible ego. History is filled with godlike kings forcing thousands of subjects to build monuments to their own divinity. In ancient Mesopotamia, power was projected through massive temples, strict religious hierarchies, and a culture built on chronic warfare. Then, in 1924, the Archaeological Survey of India announced a discovery that lacked the expected markers of royal tombs or state-sponsored cathedrals. This topographical map shows the astonishing geographic footprint of the Indus Valley civilization, stretching from modern-day Afghanistan down through much of Pakistan and across northwestern India. It was significantly larger than the neighboring societies of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. But as excavators mapped hundreds of these ancient cities, they realized something was missing. They dug up 0 royal palaces. They found no grand state temples. And across this massive territory, they uncovered virtually no weapons of war. Millions of people cooperated across this vast region for hundreds of years, and they managed to do it without a dictator, a standing army, or a centralized religion forcing them into compliance. The people of the Indus Valley possessed remarkable engineering intelligence. They simply directed their wealth towards civic infrastructure instead of royal monuments. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were built using a highly planned grid layout. Instead of winding paths, residents walked down straight streets lined with uniform, standardized burnt bricks. Inside those brick structures, common citizens had access to private courtyards, dedicated bathrooms, and their own water wells. Their mastery of hydrology is evident in the covered drainage systems designed to carry waste away from homes, and in large public facilities like this precisely brick-lined water reservoir known as the Great Bath. The architectural layout points toward a distinct set of cultural priorities. Rather than draining resources to glorify a single leader, this society invested in public sanitation and elevating the housing standards of average people. Because they lacked a standing military to conquer their neighbors, the Indus Valley projected its influence through commerce. They grew staple crops like wheat and barley, but their true economic edge came from a specific agricultural innovation. They were the first humans to farm cotton. To export those highly desirable textiles, they mastered maritime logistics. This vast basin at the site of Lothal features complex waterlocks and is recognized as the world's first artificial port and dockyard. Indus merchants navigated the Arabian Sea, exchanging goods like lapis lazuli as far away as Mesopotamia and Central Asia, all through a barter system operating without metal coins. To maintain fairness across thousands of miles of barter trade, they invented a highly precise, standardized system of geometric stone weights and measures. A merchant in an Afghan trading post used the exact same weight standards as a merchant by the Gulf of Cambay. This interconnected commercial network created massive wealth. When prosperity depends on reliable, long-distance trade, starting a war with your neighbors becomes an economic disaster. The absence of palaces leaves a vacuum of power in the historical record. Without a divine monarch, archaeological evidence suggests these cities were governed by a council of merchants. The wealth they generated flowed into the general population. Excavations routinely uncover elaborate jewelry, crafted from gold, silver, and semi-precious stones, worn by both men and women across the society. This artifact, known as the Pashupati seal, provides a glimpse into their spiritual lives. The 3-horned figure sits in a yogic posture, surrounded by an elephant, a tiger, a rhinoceros, and a buffalo. It suggests a culture that revered nature over an intimidating, centralized deity. A lack of royal propaganda, coupled with abundant civilian wealth and high-quality housing, points towards an unusually equal society for the Bronze Age. Around 1900 BCE, this sprawling network began to collapse. Shifting river systems likely destroyed their agricultural base, and by 1400 BCE, their brick cities were abandoned to the desert. Today, we are left with an impenetrable barrier to understanding who these people truly were: the Indus script. We can see the mechanical complexity of their writing. They generally wrote from right to left, and on longer seals, they used a technique called boustrophedon, where the direction of the text flips with every new line. Despite a century of study and the analytical power of modern computers, the language remains undeciphered. We cannot read a single word they wrote, and we do not know the name of a single person who lived there. Without a translated script, we are left only with the physical results of their work. These streets and sewers stand as material evidence of a society that sustained itself through engineering and trade for nearly 2 millennia. They offer a rare demonstration that an apex civilization can be built on cooperation rather than the sword.